nothing. He did not say anything. He literally just took off. And you know what his excuse was? His excuse was, oh, I was... Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story time. Now, this happened approximately 2 months ago, and I initially was going to do a video of it probably maybe a week into it after it happened, but obviously emotions were definitely high, and I didn't want to feel uncomfortable. And when I'm uncomfortable, I have a tendency of not like speaking properly, obviously, because emotions are high, tensions are pretty high. So I kind of waited until everything settled down. So I met this individual probably past this truck 5 to 6 years ago, and our friendship was mostly based on mutual interest. We both liked cars, and that's something that we both bonded over. But later I kind of realized that wasn't necessarily the case, and that kind of just was a whole front that he was putting on, and I'll kind of get into that actually right now. So the person that I met, I'm not going to reveal his real name, but let's just call him Paul. Now Paul, he seems like a pretty okay guy, but he's not somebody who you would probably befriend or hang out with, because let's just say his personal life is not necessarily the best. He kind of gives me vibes of sort of like a 32-year-old who just doesn't want to let go of his past. Like, it seems like when he was 18 years old, that's when he really peaked, and he doesn't want to let go of that. So he literally just clings onto that for as much as possible. I kind of expected the cracks to show, but the cracks didn't really show until probably like I would say close to when the friendship kind of dissolved. So yeah, as I was saying, so granted, we met over cars. Cars was the common thing that we had between each other, and it was really good. We bonded over. But where things started to get a little bit weird was, he was just obsessed with horsepower. And it's not like, we get it, car enthusiasts, we love powerful cars, we love project cars, we love building turbo Civics that make like 500, 600 horsepower. Like, we just love that whole entire aspect of the car. But he just seemed to be focused on beating people. It was always like with him, it was always just like a competition. But I'm not that much of a competitive person, so I didn't really much care. And when he tried to be ultra competitive with me, I kind of just brushed it off, because I was just like, dude, I'm not a competitive person. Like, what are we getting out of this? That was kind of my thing. Like, if it was like sports, we were playing basketball, soccer, like a friendly game, I actually tend to get pretty competitive with my best friend in that regard. So like, again, sports, exercising, which is natural, and it kind of motivates us to do better, to achieve our goals and such like that. And that's what I would say healthy competition is, basically. But with him, everything was a competition. Is that for a split second, I thought that was an M3 Touring. I was like, those aren't available in North America. But for a split second, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, with him, it was just always competition, and it kind of just got really tired of it. So I kind of just like, whatever. So fast forward, we both are slowly becoming, to know each other, getting to know each other. We're becoming more and more comfortable, and that's pretty normal in friendships that are, I would say at least 5 years long. At least you would try to get to know the person, which was the case. And he opened up a little bit about his personal life, and at the time I didn't really too much care for it, but it was exactly just as I predicted. This guy was like a legit movie character. Like, he was like, I don't know if you guys, I don't know what movie specifically, but it's just a character. Like, you know, you guys are watching a movie, right? And there's usually one character that's just like a womanizer. He's like a badass. He's rich. He's got money. He's literally got like probably a new woman probably every 2-3 weeks or something like that. Like, money, status, that's pretty much him to a T. And me and my best friend, we kind of have conversations about this, and I'm very clear about it. I usually say, like, I don't usually like people who are like that, because it's transactional. Basically, when I'm no use of him, and basically when I'm of no use to him, he's quickly just going to dismiss me. And once I'm done, the whole friendship will dissolve, which is what I kind of expected based on, you know, what I, you know, assessed him, you know, what his personality is and stuff like that. But this will shortly show why we kind of dissolve. So fast forward to last year. It was my birthday. Now, I've been doing this YouTube thing. I've had a YouTube channel for a pretty long time, but I never used to take it seriously. I never took it seriously. And now I'm starting to take it seriously now that I have a little bit more time. I can sort of post regularly. And I've always enjoyed making videos, whether it be, you know, like this, or if it be for like a professional thing. Sort of my thing. It's sort of like how I relax, how I decompress, even though it is work and I kind of look like a fool with a camera on my face, but I don't give a. So fast forward, my birthday comes along. Now, I usually work a pretty odd schedule because I sort of have my own little business that I'm taking care of. It's just, you know, very small. It's a very small solo kind of thing, and I'm seeing if I can make it into a viable solution, which definitely means I'm going to have to be putting a lot more work, a lot more hours. So I technically work more than the person who works like the average 9 to 5. Oh, there's another H Gen SI pre-facelift. So yeah, I kind of told him, you're welcome to come. You don't have to come because, you know, he has a kid and, you know, the scheduling differences, and I don't want to, you know, inconvenience him. So, you know, I selected a couple of friends. This was my best friend, and I think 2 of my other close friends came. One of my close friends, not my best friend, he just recently got married, and he brought his new wife along with us, you know, for the whole like birthday celebration. And, you know, everything was going really good until he came up. So when he came up, so Paul comes into the room just drunk. He literally comes in pissed drunk. He's with his girlfriend. His girlfriend is clearly not happy with him, and they kind of get into a heated discussion all throughout the restaurant. And I don't really tolerate that behavior. Like, this is my birthday. Why are you, you know, screaming and fighting? You know, my birthday, this is supposed to be like a joyous time where I'm supposed to be relaxing, having fun, you know, because we're celebrating a milestone in my life. It's a relatively basic one, but, you know, I want to share this moment with my friends, which is pretty typical. So, you know, him and his girlfriend got into a pretty heated discussion, and I kind of ditched him. I told my best friend, yeah, let's just get the bill and we're out of here. The streetcar was coming in about, you know, I would say 5 minutes, so we kind of made a run for it. We did see it ahead, so we ran to the bus stop, the streetcar stop, and we decided that it just wasn't worth it. Like, we didn't want to subject ourselves to that, and we kind of took our stuff to go, and we basically ditched him. And I was kind of sad that, you know, my little birthday dinner was ruined, and I totally did not expect that. I was expecting something else. You know, I was expecting it to be happy, but it was packed with drama. Now, that left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and it kind of painted a picture of, you know, how things were going. Now, I did know what was going on in his personal life, so I don't want to say like it's my place to say this, but since I know the information, I can kind of say it. So he had a little bit of a drinking problem, and he wasn't the worst that I've seen, but he clearly did have a drinking problem, and he used alcohol to cope with what, whatever shortcomings he dealt with and stuff like that, which was pretty bad, because a lot of his close friends have pointed out that you have good friends that you can trust and stuff like that, but why would you still go out and drown your sorrows in alcohol, that kind of thing. So he had very supportive friends, but unfortunately, depends how far you are in the hole. If it becomes too much of an issue, I've seen friendships dissolve over this. Unfortunately, mine's kind of did. This is kind of why I'm telling you guys this story. But what broke the camel's back was 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, we were out celebrating a friend's milestone. And I'm not going to really explain what we were celebrating, because that's not really important. But the important part was, it was the four of us. We're all into cars and stuff like that. And it was late at night, so there wasn't really much people out on the road. So, we decided to go for a little spirited drive. Maybe we were a little too spirited, and there was an accident which I was involved in. So how it happened was, we basically just got on the highway. I did a little bit of pull. I wasn't going too crazy. And then once we were on the straight road and we had an empty area, we had a little bit of fun. We played a little bit of cat and mouse. It wasn't anything harmful. So all of a sudden, I'm paying attention, and I'm also in one lane over, because, something could happen, something unpredictable could happen. You just never know. You want to give yourself that little margin of safety. That's exactly what I did. So they were in the middle lane, and I was in the right lane. So I was paying attention, but I didn't see this car. This white car brake checked the leader of the pack, which caused a chain reaction. We didn't react fast enough. So in order to avoid Paul, I swerved into the barrier. I tapped Paul's bumper just ever so slightly. He kind of had a little bit of a scuff on his bumper. I had a little bit of a scuff. It wasn't anything serious. But where my car, when that crash initially happened, I was pretty much like, yeah, I'm going to get totaled. The car's total, it's over. I kind of have to get a new car now. We're going to have to start the whole process again. I was like not looking forward to that. But to my shock, when I, got out of the car and I was in the middle of the highway, here's the part that broke the camel's back. Here's the part that just literally completely shattered me to pieces. Now, I would think I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm a pretty respectable person. But this guy, he did not stop. I hit him. This guy literally ran off. He didn't stay back to say, oh, are you okay? What happened? Nothing. He did not say anything. He literally just took off. And you know what his fucking excuse was? His excuse was, oh, I was drinking and I didn't want to stop because, there was cops. No cop came by. Literally, when I was putting on the spare tire, I was literally wrapping up. That's when a tow truck driver came by. And I'll show the picture here. I was very surprised that my car did not get damaged. Like, the body of the car did not get damaged. I inspected the suspension. I had another person look at it. And I'm very, very lucky that, nothing else was damaged. So I took this opportunity to get, I had to get 2 new rims, because the rims took the brunt of the damage. And the way it broke was the inner barrel separated from the outer barrel separated from the main barrel, and it just cracked and it began to separate. And the more I drove on it, it would have fully separated and come off, and then I would have been Luckily, it was the 4 of us, and the guy with the slowest car, well, just regular car, he had a Lancer. Apparently, it was the same bolt pattern as my Civic, and if it wasn't for him, I would have definitely had to pay for an expensive tow. So he definitely came through that night, and I'm very thankful. So shout out to you if you're watching this video. I'm really thankful for what you did. And if it wasn't for you, I would have been, you know, paying the tow truck a pretty hefty fine, because I was pretty much all the way in the west end of the city, and I had to get to the north end, and that would have definitely been a hefty price. You know, the car's repaired and everything. I did make a video about, you know, how I fixed the paint flaws, how I got new tires. That's basically how I got new tires. I basically, you know, I had to get 4 new tires. I could have just gotten 2, but the tires that I had, I wanted to get rid of them. And, you know, they were on their way out. So I was like, you know what, let's just get some new summer tires. And so far, I like the tires. They grip phenomenally. But that just goes to show, you know, it's not so much that I crashed my car. It was more so the fact that he did not give one shit about my safety and well-being, for that matter. He just didn't care. And you know what he said? He said he was drinking. He never drank. So he used that as an excuse just to get out of the situation, which was so egregious. Like, it left me in a state of complete, utter shock. Like, no one has ever, like, I've met some people, we've got into some fist fights, but I've never had someone do something as crazy as that. Never. And it really did surprise me in that moment. And, you know, since that moment, our friendship kind of dissolved. And honestly, we eventually stopped talking. And the funny thing is, once I stopped talking to this individual, what was that? We just stopped randomly, pressing our brakes. Yeah, so what I learned from this individual, he was a very slimy sleazeball. He only did things that benefited him. And unfortunately, while, you know, it was a minor accident, that was just such an egregious display of his behavior. The friendship was quickly dissolved with a snap of a finger like that. And it, you know, I was okay. And if you guys are wondering, I was okay. Airbags didn't play. It was a pretty minor accident, but that is what, you know, threw me over the edge. And unfortunately, you're going to meet some people like that. Me and him are no longer friends. And the crazy part is, you know, we used to hang out quite a bit. But now, since, you know, since I don't hang out with him, it feels kind of weird. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Like, whenever I hanged out with him, he just felt he drained all my energy. And I've told you guys this in past videos, that, you know, hanging out with my friends, working in our car, wrenching, that's therapeutic. It's relaxing for me. Unfortunately, you know, I might be sharing a lot, but my actual family, I never really received much support from them. And I kind of turned to my friends to support. So basically, my best friend, you know, I grew up with him. He's sort of like a brother to me. You know, he gave me the emotional support. He basically, what my family couldn't deliver, he delivered. And I'm very thankful for that. I know that kind of sounds really mean to say it like that, but that was, that's the truth. Why are we going 40 here? But yeah, that's my story. And yeah, I did crash the Civic, which is wild, but I wanted it to settle a little bit, like I said in the beginning. But yeah, that's how a little accident ended, I would say, a 6-year-long friendship, which was pretty good, I would say. But, you know, if I didn't know his personal stuff, I stayed out of it most of the part, because I kind of knew better. But it's kind of unfortunate, but it's probably for the best that it happened. But let me know down in the comments if you guys have a story like that, or, you know, let's say like your friend did something so egregious that you kind of question your friendship, or you kind of just close the friendship altogether. So let me know down in the comments if you guys have similar experiences to that. All right, guys, that's a wrap. And peace out. See you guys in the next one.